Hello everyone. Today I am going to discuss about the microservices I implemented for collecting the metrics from a data source and giving the opportunity to the clients for various searching purposes instead of getting all the logs which is present in the data source. I need to provide a concise and simple way to get the details based on their requirements. For that purpose, I implemented these microservices. For getting the data, I need to connect. I used MongoDB. That's why I created a simple MongoDB account. Here is the data connectivity code. I copied this one and I used that connected URL in my application.properties, and here in this configuration section I configured about the database. That means metrics database. I already tested this database. Let me show you how it is created. In this MongoDB clusters, it creates MetricDB. The name is the same as the our configuration. And coming to the implementation part, I used I implemented this model metric log model. Whatever the name here present metrics logs, the database table must be created with this collection name. Let me show you. This is the database table name. In this table, we will save and we will fetch all the data from our MongoDB. And it is a model for a basic class that it represents a table in the matrix logs. And this is the repository that meets and communicates with the our MongoDB repository, which is named and which is the table same as the metric log. And these are the methods and functionalities which are interacted with our MongoDB. Simply implemented by the Mongo repository. For that purpose, whenever we need to work with the MongoDB, we need to add a dependency, Maven dependency in this form.xml dependency section. I added this Spring Boot starter data MongoDB. Coming to the controller, this is the main part we need to discuss. Our endpoint must be same with this following slash API slash metrics. This is the REST API, and these are the various methods and various formats based on our client requirements. This is the post method, post mapping, and this is the get mapping. This method is used for posting the logs, list of metric logs into our database, and this get mapping is used for the getting all the list of metrics logs from our MongoDB database. This get mapping is used for fetching the details and logs based on this source, and this endpoint is used for the getting the logs based on the type of the log the client provided, and this is for used for the getting the metrics logs from the MongoDB or whatever the data sources based on they provided the level type. This is the main. Sometimes the clients come up with the I need to search from a time range between from and start and end. That's why in that time this slash by hyphen timestamp, this endpoint is helpful for getting the logs from a certain range of time. For getting the details, I implemented service metric service that is directly interact with the our repository. For in this service layer, I implemented this save all metrics, get by source, get by all, get by level, get by message, get by timestamp. These are the all the services which include methods which is interact with the our repository metric repository log, and in this metric log controller, instead of directly calling the repository, I implemented a service or a service which is a metric service for for making our project and service more readable and debug purpose. Let me show you how this is work. First, we need to build a package. We need to make sure everything is fine and it is working as we expected. And everything is running. Yeah, project is built and jar file is created. Now I need to start our project. Go split spring the hyphen run. Here you can see Tomcat started on port 8080. I already created this one on in this. What is our first controller? Our first controller is post mapping. Our first controller is post mapping and it gets list of metric logs and it's saved into the database and return the response. So these are the list of databases, sorry, list of records. This is the first metric one record and this is the first second one, and here is the endpoint http localhost 8080 slash API metrics that matches with the our endpoint API metrics. When I simply click on the same, it will after it's saved into the database, it gives the proper response with the ID. And our second controller is, you can see, because of this log.info save log.info, I simply display the whatever the data which is saved in our database. I simply display in the console section. Our second one is get mapping. It means getting all matrices and logs which is present in the data source. Coming to the second get matrix. In this get matrix, this endpoint is also the same as our endpoint request mapping slash API metrics, but it is a get method. After clicking on this, we will get all the logs present in our database. source type, source manual, source type, and type level info. Coming to the third one is getting the details, and the getting the metrics logs, get the logs from the data source based on the source type. For that purpose, used slash source and the source type, and followed by the this basic URL. That's why log listed by source. Coming to the up to this part, this is the same as our metrics basic URL. This is the our third endpoint. It means I need to fetch the metric logs based on the source type data log. That's why I send the request. I only get the data from the metric logs that only matches the source type data log. Let me check another one, Prometheus. Source type is Prometheus. Instead of asking Datadog metrics logs, I need to fetch the metric logs from that is saved in the database from the Prometheus. I send it to the request. I only get the Prometheus instead of getting all the metric logs and log details from the data source. And fourth one is getting the logging details on the data based on the type. Now we are focusing on the type of the error and type of the logs. That's why I implemented this endpoint. We need to follow this slash type and type name of the type. Here you can see these are all the getting types, because we are our clients need to get the data and from the data source or whatever it is from the database or cloud based on the type they need to get. That's why I implemented get mapping. Our endpoint is matching with the type slash name of the type. I implemented info type. I at the time, let me get all metrics, send request. Okay, type. Here is one is log type, another one is metric type, uh, metric type. So I need to go there, log type. Now our clients need to get the logs from the database, logs from the source based on the type. He provided a log type. That's why he only get the log details. You can see here is the log, here is the log record, here is the log record, here is the log record. And another endpoint is level. Our clients sometimes may needs to get the logs based on the level types. At the time, this endpoint will work. This endpoint is in with the slash level on slash type of the level. It means level name. Here you can see need to here you can see this is the basic URI that is implemented on the our class. This is our present endpoint level slash type of the level. Currently, I need to fetch the error level logs. That's why after clicking on the send button or request, you only get the levels which is related to the request, which is the error. You can see here error. You can see here error. We have our another level info. Now I need to get based on the another level type info. That's why sending request. Yeah, now currently client sended info level type request. That's why he only get the info type instead of getting the all clumsy data details and logs from the sources. He only get a particular records on particular data instead of getting all the data. And fifth one is the by stamp, by timestamp. This is the method and this is the endpoint I implemented for getting the logs from to and starting to end. That means our time range logs as per his requested as per his request. Here in this section I implemented three types. Sometimes clients come up with the I need to enter a starting time. I don't need to enter in. It means from starting to now, from starting time to current time, present time. That whole logs I need to know. I need to get. That's why you need to submit or start. There may be a sometimes users and clients come up with the I don't need to enter a particular end range. I need to get the details from the starting to current time. That's why you only send start request instead of sometimes he need to send only end time. It means from end time to previous logs I need to investigate. That's time he only send end request end in the URI. If he wants a certain range from to it means starting to end range, he needs to send these details. I need to give some spaces. I need to get this data or from the source based on the starting time to the current time. I send in a request only passing the start time. I get the details from after the starting time onwards. I get this timestamp matches and it is more than the starting time. Now in the second time scenario, client come up with the I need to get the data from of starting to end point. At that time he passes the starting time and the end time. After after passing the details into the URI and clicking on the request, you only get the corresponding request and the details from the data because there is no data from a certain range. I need to pass this data. From this starting to end, I have current. These are the logs which is occurred and saved from this time range. Sometimes is client doesn't need the starting time because it means he only need to get a data from the data before this time. It means he only get the previous logs and data from this starting time. After clicking on this request, he only get the data which is previously saved before this time range. He only get, let's compare, this time is greater than all this one. The previous one only show, otherwise it will simply ignore it. These are the all endpoints I implemented. Yeah, I need to show you these. Let me refresh this page. After sending the post request, means sending request to add these records into the database. It is added into the database names, metrics, logs. Here you can see these are the records which is saved in this MongoDB. Here there is a lot of, we can click on the next. You can see here this is our class path name, and this is the timestamp, this is the message, this is the level, this is the metric, and source type is, these are the duplicate and the raw data I inserted into the this database for doing our practice. Here you can see various source type, manual type is there, Prometheus type is there, DataLog type is there, type of the log is log type is there, and level types are info type, warning type, and it's saved with the custom message. Memory usage exceeded 80%. Alert error error level is there. Message type is alert no down. Level type is info is there. Type is metric type is there. This is the database and this is the table name which we configured in our Spring Boot application in under this application properties. Here you can see this is the URI and this is the database name. This is the database name. Under this model metric log section, you can see these metric logs is the table name, which is matches with our cloud table. Yeah, this is all thing I implemented. You can search by yourself and you can clone this project into your machine and you can do operations and you can test by yourself. I will provide this project a link in the description. Go to this is my GitHub repository. Under this repository, I will provide this link in the description. You can go through that and you can simply clone it and do whatever you want and do some experiments. If you get any mistakes, you can mistakes and conflicts, you can directly contact me. Thank you. Have a nice day.